order the Finance Committee of April 26, 2022 at 5:30 p.m. The first item of business is the approval of minutes, draft minutes of the April 12, 2022 Finance meeting. Do I have a motion?
I move approval.
Motion made by Alder Wheeler. Discussion. Hearing none, place it to a vote. Those in favor of approving the draft minutes of April 12, 2022 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Moving on, public appearances, non-agenda items. I don't see anyone in chambers. We have no one online as well. Moving on to the Finance Director report, item 4. I'll turn the floor over to Misty Dodge, our Finance Director.
Thank you. I just have 3 quick updates for you. First is we're still working our way through the audit and the end of year information. We have not yet received a draft of the audit report, but we are still expecting to have that to you guys the second meeting in May. So we're kind of moving along in that process. CIP is the other big project that we're working on. So you guys don't see it until early June, but we're in that, I guess, number crunching stage to try to see what all changes need to be made before the mayor proposes his draft. And then finally, the ARPA money. So that report was due, or is due, at the end of this week. I filed it last night through March 31st, 2022, which is when that report ended. We spent about $14,000 of our $3.2 million, which isn't surprising because we just passed that ARPA investment plan that kind of said how we were going to spend it. So the reporting was surprisingly easy, considering it was a government report. I was not too unhappy with it, but we have to file them every year. So if you're interested in seeing that report, I'm more than happy to share it with you, but didn't want to include it in the packet just because there's some identified information on there. So that is all.
Very good, very good. Questions from the committee? Hearing none, we'll move on to item 5, review of bills. The first item is detailed review of checks for $10,000 and above, April 1st through the 15th, 2022, totaling $530,827.59. Questions? I have a question, and I believe it's, I'm going to jump right down. It's One Neck IT Solutions. Is it VM, backup annual maintenance? I know we just approved something else for, maybe it was email. Is this for a different system within the city?
I believe this might be the same one you're thinking of because the pre-approval would have gone through Finance Committee. You'll notice there's 3 lines on here. This is the one where it's about almost $8,000 per year. So that first line is 2022, and then the other 2 lines are the prepaid amounts for years 2 and 3.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any additional questions? Seeing none, we'll move on to 5B, detailed review of all checks issued, checks 1233330 through 123401 for the period of April 1st to the 15th, 2022, totaling $650,087.87. Questions from the committee? Hearing none, we will move on to action items. 6A, do I have a motion to approve Resolution R-31-22, approving 2022 Spring Tree Planting Plan?
I move approval.
Motion made by Alder Gerhardt. Misty, are you going to speak to this?
I'll actually kick this off to Scott Endel, the Parks Director.
Go ahead, Scott. You have the floor.
Thank you. The Forestry Division, they did, as part of our spring tree planting plan, did an RFP. We have a total of 159 trees that are going to be included this spring. We did publicly, Anna did publicly bid the project, and we did receive 5 qualified bids, which was really good. Staff is recommending SRB trees for this work. They do have the lowest bid, and Anna and her team has worked with SRB in the past, and they're satisfied and happy with the service.
Very good. Questions from the committee? Yes, Alder Gerhardt.
Just one comment I wanted to add. Well, and just Scott already said that SRB is someone that Anna's worked with before, and she's pleased with them. This was from Tree Advisory Committee meeting. But also, did come under budget. So, and Anna said that there's a possibility we could do a second spring planting if we're able to get the trees. Is that true, Scott?
Well, I would certainly, but I think we may be, and I'd certainly defer to Anna, but we might be out of that spring tree planting a window, if you would. Maybe it might need to wait until fall, but I'd certainly defer to Anna and her expertise in the area. But yeah, if we've got dollars, we'll do the best that we can to make sure that we use them.
Sounds great.
Okay, very good. Additional questions? Okay, hearing none, I will place the motion before us to a vote. Those in favor of the motion before us signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. Thank you, Scott.
Likewise. See you later.
Moving on to 6B. Do I have a motion to approve Resolution R-67-22, approving agreement for subdivision improvements in the plat of Highfield Reserve, which was postponed from April 12th, 2022 meeting?
I move approval.
Motion for approval made by Alder Wheeler. Misty, are you speaking to this one as well, or?
I will. So this is a subdivision improvement agreement. You'll probably notice a lot of these, all of them go through council, but they don't often come to finance committee. But there's two of them that are on ours tonight because there is a finance committee piece in the agreement. So in this one particular, the developer is required to reimburse the city for the sanitary sewer replacement costs across South Cyene, north of Lacey. And so it's not a special assessment, they're just required to reimburse us for that cost. So since there's that financial component, it's here for your review. This was the one that was postponed at the last meeting because it wasn't available, the final document, but it's in the packet for tonight, so it's ready to be acted upon.
Okay, very good. Discussion from the committee. Hearing none, I'll place it to a vote. Those in favor with the resolution before us signify by saying aye.
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 The ayes have it. Motion carries. Moving on to item 6C. Do I have a motion to approve Resolution R-71-22, authorizing acceptance of the 2022 Lacey Road Bridge Maintenance bid?
I move approval.
Approval made by Alder Gerhart. And Misty, are you speaking to this one as well?
I will.
Go ahead.
So this was a project that was included in the carryover request that was approved, so it should have been done last year, is now getting approved or done in 2022. Staff did go out to bids for it. They received 2 bids. We're recommending approval of the low bidder, which is also under budget. So some good news for today.
Very good. All right, questions, discussion? Hearing none, we'll place it to a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion carries. Moving on to the next item, 6D. Do I have a motion to approve Resolution R-77-22, approving revised agreement for subdivision improvements in the Lacey Ridge Townhomes, CSM?
I move approval.
All right, approval made by Alder Wheeler. And are you speaking to this, Misty?
Yes, so this is that another subdivision improvement agreement. The unique thing about this one, and it listed in the referral page, is that there's some improvements that are required to be done by the developer. If they are not done, then we will specially assess them to all of the townhomes that are part of this development. So this development agreement will be recorded along with each one of those parcels so that those future homeowners are aware of this obligation if things aren't done as expected.
Very good. Questions, discussion? Hearing none, I'll place it to a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Ayes have it, motion carries. Moving on to 6E. Do I have a motion to approve Resolution R-79-22, approval for reimbursement of 2 fire department water tenders as a direct referral?
I move approval.
Motion made by Alder Gerhart, and Misty, you have the floor.
I will turn this one over to Chief Pulvermacher.
Oh, very good. Chief, you have the floor.
Thank you. This is a housekeeping issue. This is the same item that you approved at the last finance and council meeting. We had the opposite issue that we had with the radios, where the manufacturer preferred to be paid versus the vendor. And in this situation, the manufacturer prefers that the vendor, the salesperson, the sales organization get paid. So we are revising the referral, the resolution, I should say, to reflect who's actually getting paid. Everything else remains the same.
Very good. Discussion. All right, hearing none. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it, motion carries. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to 6F. Do I have a motion to approve Resolution R-80-22, approving bids for construction of public improvements for the Ochala CSM?
I move approval.
Motion made by Alder Wheeler. And Misty, you're the only one left on the floor, so you're going to be speaking, correct?
Just me left, yep. So the Ochala Road extension is a project that's going to be done by a developer. So they're going to actually pay for the costs up front to put it in. However, this is one where we are reimbursing them those costs through that TID incentive that was previously approved by council. So because it's in facto city funds, they do have to still follow the public bidding process. So that includes going out for bids as well as getting Public Works and council approval of that final bid. So that's why this one also looks a little different than, say, other ones that you've seen. This is just authorizing or approving that bidding process for that project. So they went out to bid. There were multiple bids received, and the staff and the developer are recommending the low bid.
Very good. Questions, discussion from the committee? Hearing none. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it, motion carries. Moving on to the last action item, 6G. Do I have a motion to approve Resolution R-82-22, preliminary assessment resolution for the Mccoy Sanitary Sewer Extension improvements? And this is a direct referral as well.
I move approval.
Approval made, motion made by Alder Gerhart. Misty.
Yep, so this is a planned sanitary sewer extension project. So it is Mccoy Sanitary Sewer over down by Highway MM. This resolution is really the kickoff to the special assessment process. So this is that first stage where we basically put the residents or the benefiting property owners on notice that we're doing this project with the intention of specially assessing it back to them. Then we will go through the purchasing and construction process. And then at the end of it, once all the costs are finalized, you'll have a final special assessment resolution that will actually put that lien on that property. So this is that first step in that special assessment implementation.
Questions or discussion? Alder Gerhart.
Thanks. Is this the first time they've ever been notified, or is this something that was in the CIP and so they got some of those early notices that it was a possibility?
My guess is that it was in the CIP, but I can look at that up and get back to you.
Yeah, because I just know last time we had a recent issue with the notification of the residents. I just want to make sure that we avoid that by having lots of time. Oh, it looks like
Maybe
Alder
Jim
Wheeler
knows.
knows.
Yes, I did ask that question in Public Works. So they have been notified. They already know this is coming, so.
Very good. Additional discussion? Hearing none, I'll place the motion before us to a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it, motion carries. Concludes our action items. We'll move on to item 7, announcements. Our next meeting, Finance Committee meeting, is scheduled for May 10th, 2022. And moving on, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move adjournment.
Motion made by Alder Wheeler. Discussion. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned at 5:44 p.m.